Speaking of the fatso, pissing him off is a separate kind of fine art. For all that brawn and rage, he's hilariously clumsy. By the way, we can spawn two fuckers. Can you imagine that? Getting sandwiched between two walkers. Well, it's quite easy actually. All you need to do is hop on top of this door, then mosey on down the far end of the wall, drop down and check the ceiling. The first walker should be right over. Next, you want to vault right over the railing and dash across the room towards the staircase to trigger the other one. Now take cover and enjoy your magic.
What the hell?
That fucking guy smacking a security guard to bliss and glory with a nightstick? Normally he's as cranky as they get. Get 1 inch too close and he'll lash out, unless you decide to bull rush him. Dash towards him while he's busy with his boyfriend and barrel right into it. If done correctly, he'll back off like, what the hell just happened?
What the hell?
Some folks have heads that are way too big for their own good. Talk about this Morin guy. His name is even on all the damn Sharpies and pans and whatnot. Something is off about this whole scene because, well, it beats me where Miles' fingers even go after being chopped off by Traeger. Unless he's got invisible pockets in that apron of his, they must have simply disappeared, because I can't see them in either of his hands. Neither are they on the floor somewhere, and believe me, I looked.
What the hell?
Tell you what, right after losing your fingers, you're welcome to hang around while Traeger is off to do something. I don't know, stash your invisible fingers or something. Some people speculate there is a secret scene that kicks in if you wait long enough for him to come back. Beats me who's lying. All I know is that waiting has never got me anywhere, and believe me, I've tried. Speaking of Traeger, that shriveled up old bitch, evidently the guy has an unhealthy fear of elevators, because how else would you explain the fact that he'll refuse to follow you into that elevator right after snagging the key? He'll do anything to not follow you. Doesn't matter if you're right there, just come and get me, bitch.
What the hell?
That bloke strapped into a bed in the male ward, the one you get to meet right after slipping out of the bathroom while Traeger is off to stash your invisible fingers, well, evidence suggests his real name might be Langdon, or at least it was before this part of the dialogue with Traeger was scrapped for whatever reason.
Mr. Langan, you can't make a deal if you got nothing to bargain with. Of course he was, Mr. Langan. Was he poking around in your dreams trying to take your jello again?
That, and the guy was a Markov executive, just like he claims in the released version. By the way, he's got glitchy arms, you can literally crouch right through them. Wow.
What the hell?
Chris Walker makes no sense. Somehow he's strong enough to pick up a grown-ass man with one hand and tear them apart head from the body, yet he won't rip down this poor excuse for a barrier, not even when he's pumped full of rage and adrenaline like he is whenever he spots Miles. Come on.
What the hell?
Speaking of Walker, that fuck, apparently he's learned how to punch through doors, air vents, etc. Go figure. You'll see these blue barrels all over the place, but until you've zoomed in to have a closer look, you will never read, "It's not a red barrel." Well, I never would have figured that one out if it wasn't for this label.
What the hell?
Miles is 37 years old when the game takes place. He's got a real email, which he'll sometimes take the time to reply to a random letter. Just don't get your hopes up, I still haven't heard back from the guy. Most glass panes and windows and mirrors have reflections that don't match up in the slightest, and it sticks out in the worst way. Unless you're blowing by with your head up your ass, this should really catch your attention.
What the hell?
It looks like Miles this whole time has been carrying 2 cameras as opposed to just one, because if that's my camera on the floor in the female ward that I dropped leaping across the gap back there, then where did the one in my hand come from?
What the hell?
Apparently, Father Martini can speak Latin, or at least something that could very well be Latin.
Patronus Filius, Filius non Spiritus, and Spiritus non Pater, Totus Deus. What the hell?
The variant wielding a cleaver in the female ward may look all tough and ugly, but he's actually a real teddy bear. He won't mind being pushed around, cleaver or not. Don't just blow by on your way into the underground lab. Take a second to look around for anything that might look out of place, like this reflection right behind the front desk. It doesn't add up in the slightest. It doesn't take a genius to see that. You would think you were in a room with a dry erase board and some lab fridges, which you're not.
What the hell?
Alright, let's head into the same room with the morphogenic engine formula scribbled on the dry erase board. Take it easy and try to shimmy around in the center of the room. If you hit the right spot, Miles might just reach out and make it look like he's trying to grab a door frame or a corner. Same thing he does while peeking. What gives?
What the hell?
Speaking of the morphogenic engine, I'm no chemistry buff, but from what I've been able to gather, this formula doesn't check out in more ways than one. People with more brain cells than me have tried to solve it, only to arrive at a conclusion that it's janky, incomplete, and makes very little sense. Gee, what do you know, right? It's only a video game, huh? Well, hello! The amount of buddies in a lobby doesn't reflect the security footage we get to see early on in the game while we get sedated by Martini. Even if some of them merc of tactical cops had been ripped apart into atoms, still, where's some evidence of that? Every assault rifle to be found in the underground lab, much like anywhere else, has been snapped apart in the exact same way, with the magazine ejected and the stock broken off. The morphogenic engine, the actual movie they force you to watch, to go cuckoo, is actually hilarious. Some frames look highly disturbing, but what about these twin Duck brothers? Are they?
What the hell?
Believe it or not, you can save Walker from being manhandled and torn to giblets by the Wall Rider. To make it possible, all you have to do is just dash right through this door without opening it. And to do that, you must know how to utilize a door glitch. And there you go. I could name a few things that are downright wrong about this Wernicke guy, but one that stands out the most is his ability to open doors without so much as pushing a single button on his keyboard. Go figure.
What the hell?
Have you ever stopped to wonder what's up with all these white splotches in the underground lab that look literally like dog faces? Beats me, but something is definitely off. This guy deep in the underground lab, shimmying back and forth behind that big glass across from Billy's bubble, well, he's gonna be half transparent if you stand with your face right up against the window. Not only that, but the area right behind him is oddly well furnished and fleshed out. Though inaccessible by any normal means, you would think it was placed there for a reason until it was caught at one point or another.
What the hell?
As always with science fiction, the underground lab, namely the giant multifaceted ball mounted into the ceiling, is based on a real-life facility called Snow Lab. I don't suppose the real-life lab would be running illegal experiments on human psyche. Now, would they? Speaking of Walker, I always figured there was a lot more to Walker and Wall Rider than meets the eye, but did you realize they actually share the exact same animation? I mean it, they could be twins.
What the hell?
Oh, and by the way, that spiffy office space behind bulletproof glass, which belongs to that derelict jerk Wernicke, I always figured an Easter egg or something would be waiting for me if I found my way past the door, but once I did, the juice turned out hardly worth the squeeze. It's just a bunch of standard issue furniture that you can just as well see anywhere else in the asylum, so there you go. Remember that sunlit loading bay right past Wernicke's office? The one that looks like, we might just have a chance to make a run for it? Well, the real bummer is, not only is it locked, but it's fake through and through. I mean, it makes sense. This area was never meant to be anything but a backdrop, so why bother? But it's still pretty hilarious how it's just a patch of dirt with a light shining on it. They sure tried hard to make it look legit. Speaking of cut content, there's another area in the same lab directly across from the morphogenic engine, which makes it look like it's supposed or was supposed to be something important, like an observation deck or something, except it's behind a door that leads nowhere. I wonder if it's cut content.
What the hell?
Speaking of the morphogenic engine, doesn't matter if you've just pulled all the plugs and shut off every single part of it, the screen right next to it will still read it's stable. It's literally spewing sparks. How's that stable?
What the hell?
Last but not least, there's a very strong case to be made for Miles being a functioning alcoholic. One of the final notes he makes in the game mentions him reading articles on nanotechnology while being completely blotto, shit-faced, blackout drunk. And here we are then. If you've made it this far, well, thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.